This episode is powered by Poddex. Poddex are unique interview questions and episode starting prompts in the palm of your hand. So whether you're a new podcaster or existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, you're going to want to check out poddex.com. Use code CinemaGold for 10% off your first order.
Welcome to the Cinema Gold Podcast with your host, Larry Leese. Come join us as Cinema Gold dives into the latest Hollywood films and news.
Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of the Cinema Gold Podcast. I'm your host, Larry Leese, and today we're diving into the latest news and reviews. Today we're continuing our series of Somehow I Manage, an in-depth review of the series The Office. The Office Season 6 brought the fall. Saber, a wedding, a baby, and even more spinning wheels. Up to this point, The Office has been showing signs that it was slowing down for the past few seasons, and that trend continued in Season 6. But hey, it's part of the natural life cycle of a show. I suppose that characters and situations that once seemed fresh tend to get a little stale and less funny as time goes on. As a diehard fan of The Office from the beginning, it's sad to watch that happening here, but it's undeniable. We did get some funny moments and some good episodes in Season 6, but as a whole, it just doesn't compare to the strengths of seasons past. I mean, for the first time in the history of the series, we get a lousy clip show. What does that tell you? To their credit, the writers did try to shake up a little bit this season. Some of those changes were short-lived, some permanent. It was good to see that the corporate structure of Dunder Mifflin was changed, and so as such it would, as the company faced economic trouble. They also played along with office dynamics, making Jim co-manager alongside Michael, but instead of allowing Jim to grow in his role, they had him fumble his way through it, struggling to gain the respect of his co-workers and falling prey to Dwight's schemes. Taking him out of the bullpen was a mistake, and when he finally returned to his desk, it felt like balance had been restored to the office. Later on, they would fill that bumbling role with new Saber liaison Gabe. It was a much better fit. They continually used Jim and Pam as a couple this season, more as to be all or nothing this year. They had two major developments, the wedding and the baby, both of which were the subject of hour-long episodes in Niagara and the delivery. But it seemed like there was some concern about overexposure with them, so they became more of the background when their story wasn't the central part of the episode. I don't have any problems with the way they've handled Jim and Pam as a couple, never splitting them up or creating false drama, but allowing them to develop naturally and have a realistic relationship. Now that they've passed all the major milestones, you just have to wait and see how they change over the course of the future seasons. Another problem for the writers was the character of Michael. As it's been 6 seasons, Michael has become more stagnant now. He can't really do more. However, he does always have some cringe-worthy moments, and this season was no different. Just look at episodes like Mafia, Shareholder Meeting, and Scott's Tots. It's one thing when he embarrasses himself in front of employees. They've grown accustomed to it. But when his antics is on display before the world, It's far worse. Dwight got a few stories this year, but nothing of real substance, and none of them ended up amounting to anything. It was great to see him back together with Angela, in a way that only those two characters could be together. But that clever reunion was almost immediately jeopardized by the reappearance of Pam's friend Isabel in The Delivery. The finale also opened the possibility of Holly coming back, but you'll have to wait and see by watching future seasons to see what really happens. It's looking like we'll see Michael's departure at the end of next season, and given the state of the office now, it's a perfect time to send him away. It was sad to see him go, but I'd rather see it end gracefully than to slowly, painfully disintegrate until there's nothing left of the great show I once loved. Now to hand out some Dundies. For best cold openings, I have Parkour, Jim and Pam learning Morse code, sending Dwight into paranoia, Pam asking the employees to be mindful of her sensitive nose, Jim giving us a history on the evolution of Dwight's alter ego, Recyclops, and probably the most cringeworthy but kind of funny is Michael asking Oscar's advice for a colonoscopy procedure. And now some Dundies for favorite episodes of Season 6. Starting out with Happy Hour. This is a hilarious episode all the way through. The opening scene is a fantastic one, with Stanley's heroic push-up accomplishment to beat Michael's 25 to get to go home early. Then the office decides to go out to a Dave & Buster's type place after work for happy hour. And things never stop being funny. Kevin's baby cry in front of Pam, Andy and Aaron's lame but funny attempts to hide the fact they're dating, Aaron's groping of another guy, Dwight and Isabel's flirting in front of a jealous Angela, Creed tearing it up on a Dance Dance Revolution game, Hyde's Japanese surgeon story, and Date Mike are all hilarious. And Date Mike, one of my favorite Michael Scott personalities. This is an episode I could easily watch over and over again. And of course, at number 2 is Niagara Part 2. This is one of the most memorable episodes from the entire Office series. The second part of a two-parter has so much packed into its 22 minutes, from funny, entertaining, to feel-good, emotional scenes. Jim and Pam were finally married. The most entertaining scenes when everyone dances down the aisles to Chris Brown's Forever. It was just a very fun and feel-good scene. Other feel-good scenes in the movie include the secret Niagara Falls wedding, and when Jim cut off his tie for Pam. Kevin also shined in this episode with his hair and his Kleenex shoes. And lastly, there was moments that leave you anticipating what will happen next, specifically between Michael and Pam's mom, and Andy and Aaron. One of the best episodes of the series without question. And number 3, Secret Santa. This is probably the third best overall Christmas episode from The Office, out of 7. It's a very good one that contains a lot of laughs, mostly because of an immature Michael Scott. Most of the time, an immature Michael Scott equals a hilarious episode. This episode, he gets upset because Jim allowed Phyllis to be Santa at the office. Instead of him, he tries to be a Secret Santa, then decides to be Jesus before letting his pouty attitude get the best of him, where he makes some hilarious jokes. Kevin sitting on Michael's lap, and Michael claiming Toby the Antichrist were great scenes. Andy's 12 Days of Christmas gift to Aaron was funny, especially because he thought it was such a great idea, and she was being tormented by it. And lastly, this episode wrapped up with the good news that the employees at the Scranton branch would not lose their jobs after being bought out. That was followed with Dwight singing karaoke to Boulevard of Broken Dreams, and everyone opening their gifts. And number 4 is The Banker. This one's actually kind of tough to rank among the season's episodes. It's one of those sitcom-ish episodes that looks back throughout the episodes, usually at the end of a series. And though this isn't the end of the Office series, with 3 more seasons after 6, it is placed within the Office at a very good time, since Dunder Mifflin is being sold. When the banker comes into the office to look around the warehouse and talk with Toby about any potential wasted time or resources, Toby gives him the easy answers, while he reminisces all the time when the office is wasted time and resources. Watching this episode is like going back through old photo albums, and it gives you a very good nostalgic feeling. It also makes you want to start the series over right then and there. But I think the main thing it does for viewers is to solidify their feelings that The Office is one of the best shows ever produced. And the fifth best episode is St. Patrick's Day. This is a fun one to watch with several memorable scenes. It's Meredith's favorite day of the year, and as Michael quotes, the closest the Irish will ever get to Christmas. Sabre CEO Joe Bennett spends the day in the office, keeping employees late when they are ready to go to the bar after work, until Michael finally takes a stand. This is the episode where Daryl moves up to the office from his warehouse job after presenting a good idea to Joe. Andy and Aaron finally have their unusual first date. We have Dwight's megadesk, which was hilarious. Michael taking Joe up on her offer to stay at her place anytime he's in Tallahassee by instantly booking a plane ticket was very funny. And lastly, I love the part where Dwight plays Cats in the Cradle All Out. Jim turns it off. Then Andy starts to sing it very loudly, kicking off with his infamous "Ra-da-da-da-da-doo." It's a very good holiday-themed episode. And now the Dundee for worst cold opening. Oh shoot, I should have wrote down what episode this was. But Michael has to address Andy's baby talk in the office, which Andy gets out of by complimenting Michael's Elvis voice, who responds, "Thank you, baby. Thank you a lot." The worst episode of season 6, The Manager and the Salesman. Sabre CEO Joe Bennett wants the Scranton branch to have one manager, and Michael voluntarily steps down and lets Jim become the boss. When he finds out that the salespeople make more money, he soon comes to regret that decision. And the best episode of season 6 is the first part of Niagara. When one thinks of season 6, the episode Niagara has to come to mind. It is the highest rated episode of the season, and absolutely it deserves to be. After all, it is the long-awaited wedding episode between Jim and Pam. Jim and Pam are the heart of the office, so to see them officially join a marriage was so heartwarming and resulted in tears of joy for fans of the happy couple. There are still hilarious moments along the way, like Andy tearing his scrotum and Kevin losing his shoes. But at the end of the day, Niagara stands atop season 7 because of the entrance dance down the aisle, juxtaposed against Jim and Pam's secret elopement on the world's most famous waterfall. And the best moment of season 6, the Dunder Mifflin group plays a murder mystery dinner party game put on by Michael as a way to distract everyone from the sudden news of bankruptcy. The best character of season 6 goes to Michael Scott for the awkwardness he created during the Niagara episodes, and then him revealing he was dating Pam's mom.
I have recently taken a lover.
Well, that's great. Congratulations. Who's the lucky lady?
Pam's mom.
What?
Pam's mom, Helene.
Oh, gossip.
Who is it?
Who is it? Who is it, Michael? Who?
It's okay.
No. No. Oh my God! Oh my God!
How could you do this to me? He's my boss.
You need to be more upset about this.
She's your mother too now.
I have a way to make Scranton a better place. You could leave it.
Pamela Morgan Beasley, you need to apologize to your mother right now.
I'm not apologizing to anyone. Michael owes me an apology.
For trying to find happiness in the arms of a lover?
Don't call my mother your lover.
What is so wrong about me? I'm caring. I'm generous. I'm sensual.
Whatever. You know, sleep with my mom, but just sleep with everybody's mom.
No.
Whoa!
No.
That's
this
my
is
mom
not
you're talking about.
I'm your boss, and I may someday be your father, so get out.
You are never going to be my father. You get out.
You were right, Jim. Should have listened to you. Should never have told her.
What?
You knew?
Frankenbeard.
Michael, let me make this very easy for you. I could give a about your happiness. Stop dating my mother!
You know what? I'm going to start dating her even harder.
Maybe I'm overreacting,
Yeah. Maybe.
but I don't think I am.
You're not.
For the record, your mom came on to me.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Cinema Gold Podcast. Let us know your thoughts. Send us a tweet at CinemaGold2. Share with us what your favorite moments were of Season 6. And thank you for listening. Join us tomorrow for an all-new episode.
Thank you for listening to the Cinema Gold Podcast. If you want to become a supporter, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. Follow us on Twitter at CinemaGold2 and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/cinemagoldmovies.